We saw a movie.
We did see a movie.
And what was that movie?
That movie was the newest Jurassic Park.
Rebirth. It was directed by Gareth Edwards. And that name might not roll off your tongue, but his most recent movie that he was known for was Rogue One, which is one of my absolute favorite Star Wars movies, and the only Disney-era Star Wars movie that gets any cred from me. But Gareth is actually a very interesting guy. He started out his career doing monsters and creature stuff. In fact...
That definitely showed in this movie.
The movie that he was first known for was this one, simply called Monsters. You can see why they hired him to do this.
Yeah.
It's the brand new, it's the 7th Jurassic Park movie.
I know that you and the rest of the family was like kind of trashing on it.
Well, we had a family outing, and so that's why we didn't do
film it in the car, yeah.
Yeah, film it in the car or do our usual outside the theater or stuff. We didn't even take our picture with the screen behind us and all the rest of that stuff. So, everybody had their opinions, and I wanted to hear what everybody's was. You led with something like, well, I wasn't disappointed.
I wasn't. I got a lot out of it.
I don't feel like I talked about how bad it was. I felt like I talked about things that could have been better. I felt like the other members of our family were unnecessarily harsh. But it was an adventure movie. It felt more like a jungle survival movie than it did a Jurassic Park movie, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't mad about that either. From my perspective, I thought that it was kind of cool that it was survival stuff. I thought that it was interesting that the creatures felt like real creatures in that way, that they weren't just attacking for mindless nonsense. They were doing it because they were either curious or they were hungry or all these things. Like, one of the things that got to me was actually the T-Rex scene.
Yeah.
They showed it sleeping.
That's true.
They showed it getting curious about the boat. It didn't just immediately start charging when it heard a noise. It just kind of looked at it and went, huh, and it's like, oh, now it's moving. I want to follow it. And it's just like, if you really look at the T-Rex's movement, it's not unreal. It's not just a monster after you, like that's a creature.
Not instantly predatory.
Yeah, and it was interesting that they put it in the water too. That they had it swimming. Like you... I can only imagine what its little arms are doing underneath. But it's cool that it was swimming.
That was a neat variation.
Yeah, because like you're always imagining it thumping after you, but if it's in the water, then it possibly would have to learn how to swim.
Right. The thing that they really traded on, which I thought they did well, was they had sea, land, and air.
Yeah.
And so they had different dinosaurs for each one of those modes.
Yeah.
And that also corresponded with the 3 things that they were trying to acquire from the island that they needed to get from specific creatures that were in sea, land, and air.
Obviously, they want them to go after the big dinosaurs because that's fun. But then they gave a reason for it. Is that because they're so big, because their hearts are so big, they live longer. And that would make sense biologically to help someone who might need it, you know? That's really cool. And now we get to fight big dinosaurs or survive big dinosaurs. Like, that's really cool.
Now, I do grant that they had some reasonably good science behind this one. And I did like the scientist character guy. Although,
yeah, he was great.
Although I didn't really know much about him other than we've declared him science guy.
Well, I like that he had that moment with the giant creature because like
we finally got to a moment in the movie where we could have some peace and tranquility, and we were just appreciating these animals. And he went up and he just touched it. And he started to feel something, and he started to cry.
Yeah.
Because he reached out, and the little boy inside of him, the reason he became a scientist in the first place, surprised him.
Yeah.
And he cried. And I thought that was very sweet. That was a grounding moment. And it was
a wonderful moment.
I really liked that a lot.
I liked it too. I liked it because it's just like, if he can have an appreciation for a creature that was long gone, could you imagine having that kind of appreciation for creatures that are alive now? I have seen people who have raised wildcats and bears and have essentially become part of their family. Don't hug big wildcats and bears. Don't do that. But they've treated these creatures very well, and the creatures respect them back. It was just so lovely to see how they were able to get along with them.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we got to see that kind of appreciation for huge, supposedly monstrous beasts, that was beautiful to me.
Yeah, the other thing that was interesting is that the little girl in it found this little dinosaur that looked like Sarah from The Land Before Time. So it's a little Triceratops. And it kept making these cute little noises. All of us were just expecting that Mama is going to come and terrorize. But actually, spoiler alert, never happens.
Yeah.
She just found a little friendly dinosaur. And it was kind of cute.
It was.
And that's okay.
I also like that even though the girl was terrified, once she befriended that creature, that was when she was able to start talking again.
Oh, interesting.
I found that really beautiful. That's actually the reason why a lot of animals are therapy animals for people who... What?
This is my therapy dinosaur?
Yeah, it's her therapy dinosaur.
Hope you don't mind, I'm bringing it on the plane.
She did bring it with her.
That's true.
But she wasn't able to start talking until she saw the dinosaur and she befriended it. Same thing happens with people with autism. They have a program where they meet horses, and horses have a sensitivity to feeling.
You mentioned this before.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting like a sense of this here. It's that it's physical touch. You know, we're behind screens all the time. We're not connected with each other. Even you're watching this video, which we're really glad you are, but we're not holding your hand or touching your shoulder. You know, there's something about that just, it connects you with another person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like since the time we will not mention, that happened.
The Land Before Time.
That's before. We're kind of being trained to like view each other as like germ carriers instead of like actual human beings. But there is something about it. There's a moment in one of the Star Trek The Next Generation sequels where they go back in time. Again, my favorite time travel, you know. There's a moment where Data and Picard are putting their hands on the ship and they're just touching it and they're just like... and one of the other characters goes, "You guys okay? You having a moment?" You know, it's just like... But there is something to it, you know, that you're craving that connection. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why I enjoy physical media so much, because I can hold it, you know? Yeah. And I know full well, after I breathe my last breath, I cannot take any of this stuff with me. Yeah. But there is just something about having it physically there that provides a weird sense of comfort and peace. I'm not saying that the things that I have give me ultimate satisfaction or anything like that, but it's just like you're here and I can touch you. And it connects me, it grounds me. So I appreciate what you had to say.
Thank you. The long-necked creatures, I keep on forgetting the names of all these creatures. It was something akin to huge-asaur, but it was the long-necked ones, and the creature designs were absolutely amazing because yes, they do have that long of a tail. They have to in order to have their balance. And the fact that they added to that with how they were showing affection to each other, and the tails would just kind of curl and wrap around each other, that was beautiful, and that was really cool. And they also thickened up the necks, which makes a whole lot more sense because a long neck would not probably be able to hold itself up that big. It looked really cool. And then they added spines on it, and that was really cool. And they even added like elephant hair coming off of the leg. And like I
did see that, like when he was touching like the hair was coming on it.
And then like they pan up and then they show a whole flock of them.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
The enormity.
That was pretty cool.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, hilariously, my favorite dinosaur is no longer a dinosaur anymore. Right. So it's the flying ones.
The pterodactyls? Pterodons? Ptera.
I like those ones.
Yes.
Because they're cool. They're like giant bats. And then they have beaks. And they're huge. And I don't know, they got a cool design.
They do.
I really like them.
Pterodactyls were cool. I remember in Jurassic Park 3, it was a big deal that they finally had a pterodactyl because everybody was complaining in the last two. Where's the pterodactyl? We want the flying one. That's cool. And in that one, they made it more of a scary predator. In this one, they made it a mom, and she wasn't going to let you mess with her kids. With her kids.
Yeah, and just like a bird, it swallowed a dude whole. Like, that's how pelicans eat. Didn't even think about it.
Yeah, you're done.
It was interesting the way that it would climb and the way that it noticed things, the way that it copied the clicking just like parrots do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When he was tapping on the wall. I kind of wondered whether that was an echo. And then the next time it happened, I'm like...
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, it's the bird just copying it. It was like, again, that isn't just a giant creature trying to kill you. It is a creature that is curious and wants to copy weird sounds and wonders what that big floaty thing is. And you're like, these are creatures and that's cool.
Yeah. What I did appreciate, at least that they attempted. Okay, I'm not sure, you can gauge in your opinion how successful they were. But for the most part, they really tried to give us some character backstory.
Yes,
and
finally.
And spend some time with each character. And so that you felt like they weren't just disposable minion number 3. You know, like you
they have a family there.
They do. Like you've got your main people, which is Scarlett Johansson's character, which I love you, ScarJo, but I can't remember your character's name.
It was Z. It was my name.
And then there was the scientist guy, and then there was Zoe or Z's army buddy. Yeah. And then they had the French mechanic, and then the girl with short hair, which we never knew her name. The jerk guy with the gun, and then
glad he got eaten.
And then spoiler. Not that we didn't see that coming. Then you had the corporate guy who, weirdly enough, morally compromised. But then you had all these side characters, which is a dad with his 2 daughters and the older daughter's lazy boyfriend. I kind of wondered, why are we spending so much time with them? But I did appreciate that they at least tried to humanize the characters instead of just having them be, stock person. Oh, this guy's got sunglasses. That one's got a cigarette. This one likes to make dirty jokes or whatever. They did attempt. What I felt like they could improve was, I wish that the pace of the first act of the movie went quicker.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have reorganized the time. Yeah. Instead of explaining things, I felt like they could show them a lot more.
Yes, there was a lot of talking to introduce characters instead of seeing the characters do the thing that they're known for.
Well, I was more talking about the introduction. Like, they just gave almost a Star Wars scroll of what was happening before.
Yeah, the text things, in case you were wondering, since
this
the
is
last
what's
time
going
we saw
on.
it. Now, I did like the prologue, whatever you want to call it, the scene in the genetic lab, which was suitably terrifying and interesting, that some small little thing that happened could cause such damage. Yeah. And then you got to revisit it later. I liked that part. That was genuinely scary.
That was fun.
And then they did have a great scene with dealing with a dinosaur in a major metropolitan area.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that one too.
And it's like, you thought your traffic jam was bad when there were slow drivers in front of you. What if there was a dinosaur in the way?
A sick dinosaur.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
As it goes.
Sorry, I'm late for the meeting. There's a brachiosaur that's collapsed on the freeway. And in that continuity, people wouldn't bat an eye. They'd be like, yep, understand. Yeah. And I could tell what they were trying to do with this, and I think the reason they call it Rebirth is that they were trying to address the blasé and the apathy with the fact that we've had 5 sequels so far, and this is the 6th one, being the 7th Jurassic movie. They were trying to tap into the fact that, like, if you actually saw them in the wild, in their habitat, that there is still an awe and interest to that, and that's the little kid in you, where you do want to see these magnificent creatures be themselves in their environment with their family groups and all of that.
Yeah.
And
the one thing that I did like about Scarlett Johansson's character was that it was clear that her and her coworker were both using comedy to hide what was going on in their heads. They tended to immediately smile when something got uncomfortable, even if it was something that was good. Yeah. Like, she's being told, you could do something to save a lot of people, and then she smiled. Right. And then she was also being confronted about what happened at her last mission, and she smiled. It's like...
It's a defense mechanism.
It is a defense mechanism. And they showed that. With her coworker, he had a son, and he knows what it's like to be protective. And so when he saw this little girl with her father, he made sure that she felt protected.
Yeah, I did like that he made a point to tell her that I won't let anything happen to you.
She had 2 dads looking after her. Yeah. From separate families.
2 father figures.
And that was wonderful. There's not a lot of father figures in movies right now.
That's true.
And I thought that was extremely beautiful that they were able to show that twice, reinforcing it.
I will grant you that.
One thing that I think you said in the car was that someone close to the characters could have been sick.
Yes.
And that would have been a personal reason.
I thought that should have been Scarlett Johansson's motivation, her stakes. Like, they're going to this island to get some genetic stuff in order to possibly help prevent disease. You'll get the details when you watch the movie, but if she had a backstory where someone that she truly cared about was in need of this cure or this treatment, then that would have given her emotional stakes sacrifice instead of just she was going to get paid because she's the best at what she does in special ops or something like
Well,
that.
I kind of liked the idea that she went from money to actually caring about people. There was one idea that you had where the little girl should have had the
medical problem.
Medical problem. I think that would have been good if she had the medical problem, then it would have been made real to Scarlett Johansson's character. Because, like, it would...
Because it sounded like a lofty ideal.
Yeah.
But if you have an individual, then you're like, oh, it affects you, and I'm human too, and we can have that connection point.
Yeah.
You're right.
Another thing, which is, I kind of wanted the boyfriend to die.
I kind of did too.
I didn't want him to die having nothing in him, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Like, I kind of liked that they had a moment where he was, like, a little more real.
Right, but if he had some self-sacrificing moment.
Exactly!
Yeah.
I kind of wanted him to have a self-sacrificing moment where he could have, like, saved the whole group. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that was one of my criticisms of it, is that this one, just like the last one, too many people lived. I'm sorry, but I'm going to see a dinosaur movie. People gotta get eaten. They gotta get killed. Not that I want people to be disposable. In fact, I feel it more if there's someone that I'm actually emotionally attached to, and then they go. In The Lost World, there's a character who seemed like a side character, but he's this little bald guy, and he's not witty. He's just a guy, but he tries and works so darn hard to save everyone in there, and he does actually save them, but he gets killed. It's like, I want you to live, and I feel really sad that because you cared, and I oddly enough remember that character. Why do I remember that character and these other characters I don't remember? Because that person mattered. They cared. Like, Scarlett Johansson is a star, but I wanted to see some depth in her. I don't know if this is too much to ask of a popcorn movie. They played it too safe. Like, we were touring Dinosaur Land, brought to you by Universal Studios. Yeah. I needed a lot more threats of danger, like suspense, and there just needed to be that extra push.
I got a bit of suspense from this movie.
There was some.
I got my legs tensed up like last time.
Yeah.
Especially the ending where it was like the creature's attention went from everyone else to the girl.
Yeah.
Everyone held still. Like, you do not mess with the kid.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, back off.
Is it bad that I kind of wanted him to eat her? I know they're not going to, but that would have been a really bold choice.
I don't think you would have liked it if that happened. Personally, I think it's a step in the right direction.
That is true.
We were going downhill and, like, we're going back uphill now.
That is correct. That is correct. I think it was a mild but important course correction. Mm-hmm. But again, I was not disappointed either. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I had low expectations, but it not only exceeded low expectations, but it exceeded even moderate expectations. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
I just want to encourage people who make these movies is to learn from this so that you realize what really touches people are these moments of vulnerability and emotional connection. Irvin Kershner, director of Empire Strikes Back, said passion gives you energy. We want to encourage you to just
be led towards the things that will actually affect the heart.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to write a story, then you gotta focus on that story. If you have plot and characters first, everything else will fall into place.
Yeah. But if you put the window dressing front and center, then you've got a beautifully dull piece of...
You're going back to negative.
I'm sorry.
Also...
Oh my gosh. But you could probably cut out like 10 minutes of it, just like I would cut out 10 minutes from this movie. But anyway, if you...
You're still going. Say something nice.
Gareth Edwards, I think you're fantastically talented, and I appreciate that you put out a great summer movie that families could enjoy, and I like it that a person in the movie who we thought was going to be killed didn't die.
Yes.
And that was wonderful.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yay!
We're done with the video. Please like
and share
and subscribe
and check out our Patreon as well, because we actually have one. Yes, we're being that ambitious.
Yeah. So if you'd like to check us out and invest in us, and we want to invest in you, just reach out. So that's it.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. You look a Muppet sometimes.
I think I sound like a dinosaur when I snore. Get out of these seats.